Hello friends, welcome to our channel. This is the first video on abstract algebra. I will try to describe the basic ideas of cyclic group. We have already learned about basic definitions of group, subgroup and such thing. But there are much more than this. So we have to start with cyclic group. A group is called cyclic if it is generated by a single element or more than one element. And the cyclicness is very important notion to analyze a group structure. Cyclic groups are easier to discuss than any other formats of group. It has important applications in the branch of graph theory and cryptology. These are few examples of cyclic groups. The boric acid molecule has 3 arms. So in the group of symmetry of boric acid, we can find only 3 elements. Similar shapes with more arms are described by cyclic groups with more elements. There may not be molecules with these shapes, but we can imagine them. In our everyday life, we can find rotational symmetries in many objects. Say for example, if we consider pinwheels and propellers, then we can find rotational symmetries. We know that in the cyclic group C3 there are only 3 elements, 0, 1 and 2. Similarly in C5 there are 5 elements starting from 0 to 4. In such cyclic groups we can find rotational symmetries. A group G0 is called cyclic if there exists an element A such that G contains all such elements of the form a to the power n, where n is an integer. That means the group G is generated by a single element A, and the element A is called the generator of that group. This is the case for multiplicative group. But in the case of additive group G plus, we can write G as the collection of all the elements of the form in A. That means all elements are generated by A. So in that case, the group operation is addition. For example, Z plus is a cyclic group since every positive integer n can be written as 1 plus 1 plus 1 n times. That means if we add 1 n times, then we can find n. Similarly, for the negative integer n, minus n can be written as the addition of minus 1 n times. That is minus n equals to minus 1 plus minus 1 plus minus 1 n times. So Z is a cyclic group generated by 1 and minus 1. So in this case there are 2 generators, 1 and minus 1. If we consider Z4, then Z4 is generated by 1 as well as by 3. So this is a cyclic group. But you can check that U8 is not a cyclic group because there is no such generator. Consider the fourth example, Z dot, where G contains 3 elements, 1 omega and omega square, where omega is the cube root of unity. Then clearly we can see that omega to the power 1 is omega, omega to the power 2 is omega square, and omega cube is nothing but 1. And similarly for omega square. So G is generated by omega as well as by omega square. So Z dot is a cyclic group. Now come to the first theorem. This theorem states that every cyclic group is abelian. So for the direct implication, let us consider that G dot is a cyclic group. Then there exists an element A such that G equals to A. For example, let us consider two elements X and Y in the group G. Then X can be written as a to the power m and Y can be written as a to the power n. Then if we multiply them, then X dot Y will be a to the power m plus n. And we know that addition is commutative, so m plus n is same as n plus m, that is a to the power n plus m. That means we got a to the power n times a to the power m, that is y times x. Similarly, if G plus is cyclic group, then we have to write x equals to m times a and y equals to n times a. Then x plus y will be m plus n times a. This is nothing but n plus m times a, that is y plus x. So for additive or multiplicative case, every cyclic group must be abelian. But note that converse is not true. If we consider Klein-Four's group or Q star dot, they are abelian but not cyclic. Now come to theorem B. This theorem states that a finite group of order n is cyclic if and only if it has an element of order n. For the direct implication, let us consider that G equals to generator A is a cyclic group and the order of A is n. Then clearly a square up to a to the power n are all distinct elements of G, because otherwise if a to the power p equals to a to the power q for some integers p and q, then a to the power q minus p will be e, which contradicts that order of A is n, since n is the least positive integer. Therefore, the set A square a to the power n is a proper subset of G. This is the first point. For the other way, let us consider some element x in G. Then x can be written as a to the power p for some integer p. Then using division algorithm, there exist two integers q and r such that p equals to qn plus r, where 0 less or equals to r less than n. Then x equals to a to the power p, which equals a to the power qn plus r. That means a to the power n times q times a to the power r, and we know that order of A is n, that means a to the power n is e, so x will be a to the power r, and a to the power r will belong to the set a square a to the power n, and then G will be a proper subset of that set a square a to the power n. This is the second point. So using first relation and second relation, we can find G is nothing but the set containing a square up to e to the power n, and clearly the order of G will be n. So this is the first way. For the second implication, let us consider that G is generated by A and order of G is n. So each element will be of finite order. Suppose the order of A is k, where k is less or equals to n. Then clearly a square a to the power k are all distinct elements of G. If k is less than n, strictly less than n, in that case order of A will be k, which is same as of order of G according to the first part. Also, if in any case k equals to n, then order of A will be n, which is same as order of G. Then order of G will be hence order of A will be n. Therefore, we have got that if G is a cyclic group of order n, then there exists an element of order n. Now come to the third theorem, theorem C. This states that if G is a cyclic group, then the order of G will be infinite if and only if order of any element is infinite. The proof is very simple. For the first way, let us consider that order of any element A is infinite. That means the collection A square, A cube, so on is an infinite set of distinct elements, because if in any case a to the power p equals to a to the power q for some integers p greater than q, then we can find a to the power p minus q equals to e, which contradicts that the order of A is infinite. That means G is of infinite order. This is the first part. And for the second part, suppose consider order of G is infinite. Then order of A will be infinite, because otherwise order of G will be finite according to the theorem B. If order of A is finite. Now consider an example. Z class is an infinite cyclic group and order of the generator is infinite. Theorem D. If G is a cyclic group generated by A, then generator A is same as generator A inverse. Proof is very trivial. For example, let x is an element of G, then x can be written as a to the power some s, where s is an integer. Then x can be written as a to the power s, which equals A inverse to the power minus s. That means A inverse to the power some q, where q is minus s, which is also an integer. Then clearly G is generated by A as well as generated by A inverse. Now theorem E. This states that every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. Now consider that G is a cyclic group and H is a subgroup of G. For the first case, if H is nothing but G, then the result follows trivially. Similarly, if H is a trivial subgroup, that is E, then also result holds trivially. So we have to consider only for the case where H is not equals to E. Let there exist an element x in H. So if x belongs to H, then x must belong to G. That means x can be written as some a to the power p. Now as H is a subgroup, then x inverse, that is a to the power minus p, also belong to the subgroup H. Therefore H contains some positive integral powers of A. Now consider a set S which contains all such natural numbers k for which a to the power k belongs to H. So S is a non-empty set of naturals and by well ordering property there exists a least element m such that a to the power m belongs to H. Now let y be an arbitrary element in H. So y can be written as a to the power k. Therefore there exist two integers q and r such that k equals to qm plus r, where 0 less or equals to r less than m. Then a to the power r is same as a to the power k minus qm, that is a to the power q times a to the power m to the power minus q, which belongs to H, because a to the power m belongs to H and a to the power k belongs to H. Now since r less than m and m is the least positive integer, then r can't be positive. So the only possibility is that r is 0. That means q equals to k equals to qm. So y equals to a to the power k, which equals a to the power km. That means a to the power m whole to the power q. So clearly the subgroup H is generated by a to the power m. So H is a cyclic group. Now theorem F. This states that if G is a cyclic group generated by some element A of order n, then G is generated by a to the power k if and only if k and n are co-prime to each other. For the first implication, let G is a cyclic group of order n, then a to the power n equals to e. Let G equals to a to the power k, that means G is also generated by a to the power k. So a belongs to the generator a to the power k, and there exists integer s such that a to the power a equals to a to the power ks. That means a to the power ks minus 1 is nothing but e. So n divides ks minus 1 because a to the power n is e. So n is the least positive integer. So n divides ks minus 1. That means there exists some t such that nt equals to ks minus 1. That means sk minus nt equals to 1, which implies that k and n are co-prime to each other. Now for the other way, since k and n are co-prime to each other, then order of a to the power k must be n. So order of a is same as order of a to the power k. That means order of a will be n and G will be generated by a to the power k. Now as a corollary, we can state an important result which states that the number of generators of a cyclic group of order n is nothing but the prime counting function phi n. Theorem G. A finite cyclic group of order n has an unique subgroup of order d, a positive divisor of n. So how to prove this theorem? So we have to categorize d for few values. If d equals to 1 or d equals to n, then the result holds trivially. Think why. Because in this theorem d is a positive divisor of n. So if d is 1 or d is n, that means for proper divisors or trivial divisors the result holds trivial. So without loss of generality, let 1 less than d less than n. So since d is a divisor of n, there exists some m such that dm equals to n, then a to the power m belongs to g. Now order of a to the power m is the ratio of n by gcd of mn, that is n by m. So n by m equals to d. So there exists a subgroup of G of order D which is cyclic, because every subgroup of a cyclic group is cyclic. We have already done this result. Let us consider a subgroup H which is generated by a to the power m, and if possible let K be another one such that order of K is D. Now let K is generated by a to the power R, then order of a to the power R will be D, and D is the ratio of n and GCD of Rn, which implies that GCD of R and n equals to n by D, which gives the value m. That means the generator a to the power R is a subset of generator a to the power m. That implies K is a subset of H, but order of H is same as order of K. That means H is nothing but K. So this proves the uniqueness of subgroup. So the result is proved. This result stated that a finite cyclic group of order n has an unique subgroup of order D, where D is a positive divisor of n. Now theorem H is left as an exercise to you. This result states that Zn is a cyclic group and K is a positive divisor of n. Then the subgroup n by K is the unique subgroup of Zn of order K. Now do yourself with the help of previous results. Now we have to do few examples on cyclic groups. The first example is that Q plus is not cyclic. So how can we check that Q plus is not cyclic? So if possible, let Q is a cyclic group, that is Q is generated by some element m. Now m by 2 is a rational number, so m by 2 belongs to Q. Then we can write m by 2 equals km for some integer k. Therefore k will be half, but k is an integer, so k can but half is not an integer, so this contradicts our assumption. Hence our assumption is wrong and Q plus can't be a cyclic group. Now second problem, if G is a cyclic group of prime order, then each non-identity element is a generator of G. So this is a result, we have to prove this. So let A be a non-identity element of the group G. G is a cyclic group of order P. Now order of A must divide the order of G, and the order of G is a prime number P. So order of A must be greater than 1. Thus the only possibility is that order of A is same as P. That means G is generated by A. So clearly each non-identity element is a generator of G if G is a cyclic group of prime order. Now come to the third example. So we have to find the number of generators of Z100. number of generators of any group is nothing but the prime counting function. So in this case the number will be phi of 100, and phi of 100 is nothing but phi of 10 square. That means 4 times 10. So 4 times 10 means 40. So 40 is our required number of generators. Now fourth example, every abelian group of order 6 is cyclic. Let G is a abelian group of order 6. So 6 can be written as 2 times 3. Since 2 and 3 both divide the order of G, then there exist two elements M and N such that order of M is 2 and order of N is 3. Now G is abelian. So clearly Mn is same as Nm. That means order of Mn will be LCM of 2 and 3. That is nothing but 6. And 6 is the order of G. So clearly G is generated by the element M times N. So G is a cyclic group. Now fifth example, asking to describe the subgroup 8Z intersection 20Z. We know that for any cyclic group G, the generator a to the power I intersection generator a to the power j is nothing but the generator a to the power LCM of I and j. Here Z is a cyclic group generated by 1. So clearly 8Z intersection 20Z will be a subgroup generated by 1 to the power LCM of 8 and 20. That means the subgroup generated by LCM of 8 and 20, and LCM of 8 and 20 is nothing but 40. So the subgroup will be 40Z. Sixth example, find the smallest subgroup of Z containing 32 and 40. Clearly Z is a cyclic group. So using previous results, the smallest subgroup will be the generator of a to the power 1 to the power GCD of 32 and 40, because we have to find the smallest subgroup. So GCD of 32 and 40 will be 8. So the result will be the generator 8. And the last example, let G be a group of order 13 containing more than 12 elements. We have to show that G can't be a cyclic group. If possible, let G is a cyclic group. Then clearly G will be generated by some element A. Now A belongs to G such that order of A is 13. So generator A is a finite subgroup of G. Then G must be finite, and there are exactly phi of 13, that is 12 elements of order 13, which is a contradiction because G is a group of order 13 containing more than 12 elements. But according to the result, we show that there are exactly 12 elements of order 13, not more than 12. So this is a contradiction. Hence our assumption is wrong and G can't be a cyclic group. So these are few useful examples, and in the next slides few problems has been given. These are useful problems. You have to solve these using basic ideas of cyclic groups. Thanks.